Hi, this is Taryn Grome, editor of Pharma Voice. We met with numerous inspirational thought leaders at this year's DIA annual conference as part of our Editors Take video series. I hope you enjoyed this discussion.
In this episode, we talk with Sandra Lottes, PharmD, VP, Global Clinical Development and Operations, United Biosource Corporation. For sponsors with an investigational oncology treatment, what can be done to support healthcare professionals participating in clinical research?
Good question. Actually, it's important that the sponsors make sure that the healthcare providers and their staff are involved in the protocol development and the design to make sure that that protocol is actually feasible. These are the people who are most recently and directly responsible for these oncology patients, so they understand the burden that the patient's dealing with and the challenges in the workflows within their own practice. So it's important that sponsors help create tools that are ready at the time of the study. A lot of the patients, a lot of the practice may not actually be fluent in the language in which the study materials were made. It's important that they have that involvement, that we create ways to collect the data efficiently. It's important that the patients continue to have social services and access to those services. It's truly important that the patients that are participating in the studies have clear and specific instructions on how to report their healthcare status. And we can do that, we can support that by making sure that there's a contact center, that there are home healthcare nurses, that those kinds of wraparound services are available when these patients are participating in oncology research.
Do targeted therapies and immunotherapies have an impact on how clinical cancer studies are conducted?
Absolutely. A lot of times the targeted mutation for which we're looking for some type of response and whether or not the product will work are not well characterized. If it's a marketed product or well known, then that mutation may be readily available for any type of lab, whether that's a local lab or a lab partner that the practice may have in order to conduct the study. But if it's an investigational molecule, then the targeted mutation that you're looking for with the genomic profiling capabilities may not actually be available. So it's important that the sponsor has that assay developed and makes it there for the practice site so that they can send the specimens, the biopsies, or the blood work into that partner.
How can patients find out about available clinical trials based on their genomic sequencing?
So patients may or may not know about their genomic sequencing. A lot of times clinical practices, oncologists who are treating that patient, that practice may make it available. The patient can look at it, but it's often creates more questions than it answers because it's hard to read. It's hard to read for the expert, let alone for a patient. And a lot of times there's germ lines that are there that for which there is no research or targeted type of molecule available, and so it becomes confusing. So it is available. Oncologists can go to various sponsor manufacturer websites, or they're aware of these kinds of studies. More and more advocacy groups are making these kinds of protocols aware, and patients have the ability to directly go on the internet and find clinical research with their particular cancer type.
Are these studies for patients in stage 1, or do they cover a wider spectrum?
Actually, I'd say all across the spectrum, but those patients that are refractory to their current therapy or they've undergone a number of different regimens and they've become refractory to those treatments, those are the patients for which I think the greatest number of new products are available because we're always looking for something else to add to the armamentarium.
What are some of the challenges specific to recruiting and retaining oncology patients into studies? And what can be done to overcome these challenges?
Good question as well. With over 1,000 oncology programs under development, the competition for these patients is very high. And these patients are very ill. So it's important that we set up concierge services to make sure that the patients can actually get to and from the clinic. They go into the clinic for their treatment. That treatment, the prep for their infusion, may take 4 to 6 to 8 hours. That's a very long time. Caregiver may not be able to stay. The family member may not be able to stay. So in order to ensure that the patients can continue to participate fully, we set up or try to set up concierge services to assist in the travel requirements for that patient. Home health care nurses are also another avenue for which we can make sure that we support the patient. They can help with education, they can help with infusions, they can help with just making sure that the patient understands what they need to do. And most importantly, if a patient's particular cancer is truly progressed and there is no other avenue for that particular patient, the oncologist can often go to what's known as a compassionate use program, and it's a form of an expanded access program, and that is often an investigative molecule or product that may be either still under study or under regulatory review. And in that case, they can make that product available to the patient prior to marketing approval. That's really a lifesaver for many patients.
For more information on this topic, visit our Thought Leaders website.
For more Editors Take videos from the 2015 DIA Annual Conference, visit www.pharmavoice.com. Thanks for joining us.